What's going on, gamers? How are you brothers and sisters doing? I want to welcome you guys to Listener Feedback, episode number 21. And in this episode will be starring Crimson Phoenix. Thank you, brother, for writing in for another week. It is always truly appreciated, and it's always great to hear from you. And we also have writing in yet again. I thought this brother got scared off by one subset taken. We got Mr. Sir William X. That good brother's back in the building this week, and it's so great to hear from you, brother. I saw the title of your email, brother. You might get a little zesty on me with this one, so I'm very, very excited to get into your email, and it's great having you back on the podcast, brother, leaving your thoughts and your opinions. So thank you, brother, so very much for writing in this week. And also, we have a couple of smaller news stories that we're going to go over. One in particular, which is extremely interesting, is Respawn Entertainment is up for an Oscar. You're not going to want to miss that. It's something I never thought would happen. They could actually make history being the first gaming company that has been nominated for an Oscar. So wait till you hear how that came about. But for you, the listener, though, listening right now, if you want to be a part of the next listener feedback, and I know this episode is going up late, pardon me, I'll get back. Well, I mean, I haven't been too bad. You guys know that sometimes it slips into Thursday, and today or this week was one of those weeks. But if you want to be a part of the next episode, which will be recorded between Wednesday and Thursday of next week, you can do it two different ways. Either call in at 443-216-9934 and let your voice be heard, or you can email the show, and the email address is simply theanalogcirclepodcast@gmail.com. And if you want to check out some previously recorded episodes of the podcast, just type the Analog Circle Podcast into Google. It'll take you to where you need to be, and y'all know the rest. Enjoy yourself. Now, let's go ahead and pull up Mr. Crimson Phoenix's email, which is entitled, "The Backlog is Deep." He says, I have 426 purchased games and 127 games with gold redeemed, and there are a lot I have only touched for an hour or two, and some that I haven't or never will play. First off, brother, God, dog, 426 games you have purchased. My goodness, brother, I'm not close. I'm not even remotely close to that. That is one heck of a doggone, hey, brother, that's a heck of a collection. But let me continue with your email here. God, dog. He says, I tend to buy a lot. Hey, man, brother, you ain't kidding. That's an understatement. I tend to buy a lot I might be interested in as they go on, deep discounts sometimes. That pays off sometimes. And I have a 191,000 gamer score and counting. And my games fully completed are few and far between. God, dog, 191,000 on your gamer score? Whoa, brother, yeah, you out here past knee deep in these gaming streets, brother. You might be waist deep. Good gosh, man. Let me continue on here, brother. He says, I'm a completionist, but if I don't like the grind, it sometimes takes to get an achievement, I'll skip it. But if I love a game, I'll gladly grind. I hear you on that. He says, and yes, I do have that time invested in Division 2 and nearly 700 hours in Division 1. I love Tom Clancy. Brother, you ain't lying. 700 hours. Woo! Man, that's a level. That's a level of dedication. Brother, you hear me, man? Crimson Phoenix, that's a level right there, man. My gosh. He says, finishing up this good brother's email, he says, enjoying the show as always. Keep up the good work. Thank you, brother. Thank you for the kind words, man. That's a lot of games. That's one heck of a library. Where do you keep all of those, Crimson Phoenix? Where do you keep them, brother? Do you have like a literal bookshelf that's dedicated just to your games? And I got another question for you too. This 426 purchase games, are they all on Xbox One or Series? I mean, of course not Series X, we know that. But is it between 360 games and Xbox One games? Or are you just saying that this 426 that have been purchased are strictly on the Xbox One console? Because I gotta tell you, quite honestly, I'm sitting on roughly close to 100 Xbox One games, but nowhere near 400, brother. Good gosh. I don't think I got the space or the room for 400. I'm more of a console collector too, brother. I mean, I got a ton of old consoles and, tabletops that I collect and I love. But 426 games, that's a heavy library. Is that what you bought this generation, or is that a mixture of last generation and the generation that just wrapped up? I would love to know, man. And by the way, Tom Clancy, they're having a Xbox sale right now on some of their game, on actually all of the games are on sale, from The Division all the way down to Splinter Cell Blacklist, and I think that was like $6. So if you're a huge Tom Clancy fan, brother, then you can go over there and get it. Man, you know what? With this many games, brother, you probably already got them, Crimson. You probably got them in the stash, chilling and relaxing, brother. I ain't even going to bother you with that. But for anybody else out there that is a Tom Clancy fan, they definitely have the games on a deep sale over on Xbox Live, so definitely check that out. But Crimson Phoenix, I got one more question for you, brother. Before I let you go, before I end your email here, my good man. But I put out that 30-day Game Pass, Xbox Game Pass code. Did you not get this one, my brother? Because I know usually you're able to get them on the hook and get them done quick. I gave people a warning. I told them, hey, Crimson Phoenix, this brother is fast on the draw. So if you want it, you better act on it fast. I'm just curious to know, were you able to redeem that one, Crimson? Or were you giving somebody else a chance to maybe get it themselves and be able to use it? I'm just curious. But as always, Crimson, man, it's fantastic, brother, when you write in. It's always great to hear you, hear you and hear your thoughts and all of your opinions, brother. And just this amazing collection of 426 games that you have bought, and 127 of them being redeemed from Xbox Live Gold. Yeah, brother, I did notice. You said that some of them you're never gonna touch. That last that last collection of Xbox games with gold that they were giving away, that was a tough one. That was a tough pill to swallow, brother. So I'm sure that somewhere in between, it's a lot of that going on. But nonetheless, man, a lot of games here, 426. That's pretty amazing, man. Hopefully you'll write in next week. I'll be able to hear from you again and read off some more of your thoughts, man. But thank you again for taking the time out of your busy day to write in and, just interact with me and, let me know what you were feeling and, let me know what you have in your stash, man. 426, good grief. Heck of a doggone collection, man. But I'm going to go ahead and jump into this story, though, really quickly. So like I was saying, it's very interesting. Respawn Entertainment could make history. Now, of course, I told you guys that they've been nominated for an Oscar. Now, the reason why they're nominated for an Oscar, it's because of a 24-minute Guardian documentary entitled Colette. Now, it's spelled Colettee. I might be saying it wrong, but They were behind that 24-minute documentary. Now, that follows one of the last surviving members of the French resistance in Nazi-occupied Germany, and it has been shortlisted for Best Documentary Short Subject at the Academy Awards this year. So you may be asking yourself, well, how does this actually connect to Respawn? How are the two connected to one another? Well, this is where it gets interesting. Colette was created as part of the studio's VR shooter, Medal of Honor Above and Beyond. And the documentary was co-produced by Respawn and Oculus as one of many short live-action films for the game, and the credits name Vince Zampella as a co-executive producer. What were the chances and the odds of something they made that was connected to a VR game? What? Medal of Honor Above and Beyond. They have messed around and made a short doc that is up for an Oscar. I'm about to say an Academy Award, but an Oscar from the Academy. How incredible is that, man? I tell you, when EA picked up Respawn, they got a gem, man. They definitely got something pretty special with these guys, because if you were to ask me, if there ever was a time which studio would more than likely get an Oscar or be up for an Oscar nomination, I would have said hands down without thinking twice, Naughty Dog. It's got to be Naughty Dog. They would be up first for it before anybody else, in my opinion. But here you have Respawn Entertainment being nominated for an Oscar. I really hope that they win. That would be a huge win for the gaming industry as a whole. Just something that they made. I'm not saying they made it on a whim. I know it definitely had to have taken some production value and them taking it mighty seriously for it to have been put in this light, being up for an Oscar. You know, but just the fact that, anyway, I don't want to get too long-winded on this one, but it's fantastic news, and I'll definitely be looking forward to, seeing if they win or not. I'm definitely rooting for them, but yeah, we'll definitely see what happens with this one. But let me go ahead and let's get into the second email here. So interesting, man. We have Mr. Sir William X. This good brother, told you. Think this brother about to get a little zesty on us this week, because the title of his email is called Tekken Fingers, not Twitter fingers. Oh, buddy, he says, Sir William X here. Yo, Kiaun, how you not finished? Oh, come on, brother. Good gracious, man. Man, give me a break, brother. This brother's already going in, man. I told you he was getting spicy with this one. He said, how did you not finish the first Little Nightmares? That game is like 5 hours long. God dog, brother. He says, and it's a great game. You're missing out, man. You gotta beat that. Listen, brother, let me level with you here, brother. Come on, man. Listen. I started the game up, man. It's a fantastic game, by the way. I have thoroughly enjoyed my time with it. The gameplay is great. Story is interesting. I don't really know what's going on with the story, but you're trying to escape these monster-looking people that look like a doughboy if he got morphed into something else that looked like a monster. Very interesting game, but it's a great game. You're right, man. I haven't had a chance to get back to it. I got stuck on a part, Sir William X, that kind of held up my progress, and I haven't been back to beat it yet. But I'm definitely going to get back to it. I'm going to work on it, brother. I'm gonna put some time back into it. But let me finish showing up your email here. He says, but I want to respond to your last two questions. No, your last two cast questions. Is Microsoft making the Xbox irrelevant? Kinda. Microsoft is definitely exploring a more versatile form of gaming. I remember when Phil once said that his competition is not PlayStation or Nintendo, but he did say this, brother. He said it's Stadia and Google. And I got to say, the way that they're looking right now, I mean, keep your eye on your rivals, but they're not doing too much right now. But he says, let me continue with your email. He says, I definitely prefer the exclusivity of a console. So do I, man. He says, I like having to pick a certain box in order to enjoy a specific game. If you want Mario and Zelda, you have to pick up a Switch. If you want to experience the world of Halo and Gears of War, you got to get an Xbox. However, depending on your perspective, Microsoft is looking to revolutionize the gaming experience. Call me old-fashioned, but I'm not for it. First off, I want to stop right there. I 100% agree with you. I was sitting here and I was saying the same thing. When I was asking that question, I genuinely wanted to know, were they devaluing the box? Because giving game players so many options outside of your console space, it made me feel like, good grief, are they really trying to get rid of the console? That's what it feels like. Because they don't even say, I don't even think they say Xbox Game Pass anymore. They just say Game Pass. You know, so anywhere that Game Pass is, you'll be able to play these games exclusively day and date. So it's not even, I don't know, man. It just seems like they're definitely trying to put the console to the side. And I hope that's not the case and that, you know, I'm not reading into it too much, but it definitely feels that way. I'm a fan of being able to pick up a certain platform, just like yourself, Sir William X. I want to pick up a certain platform and I want to get these games on that platform specifically because it gives me a reason to get into that ecosystem and buy that platform, invest in it, because I know that that's the only place that I can play games. If you're telling me I can play them elsewhere, even though according to Phil Spencer, the best experience will be on the Xbox, but if you're just giving me that option to go somewhere else, even if it is in 720p at 30 frames per second or 1080p versus being in 4K, then you're giving me an option not to be on your console's ecosystem. I'm going to be in your ecosystem, but just not through your console. So yeah, I definitely agree with you on that, brother. I wish they would concentrate on it more and not so much the cloud. And I understand that the cloud, as much as I don't want it to be, I know it's the future. I just wish that for the time being, they would just concentrate on the Xbox brand and continue to, well, the Xbox console, and continue to build that brand up and do some good things. Now, I will say, well, not just good things. They have been doing good things. I don't want to shortchange them. I'll say this too, talking about that. Outriders. That was a big shock to me when I found out that was going to be in Game Pass day and date. It was a rumor going around. I didn't report on it because I didn't think it was true. So I was like, well, I don't know, but it turned out it was. And I'll say that they put it day and date in Game Pass on the console side, but the PC on Game Pass does not get Outriders day and date. So I was like, well, that's pretty cool. I mean, Phil Spencer, he said certain things would be exclusive to the console. We hadn't seen that in quite some time, but now, at least for this one time, Outriders seems to be the one. And also too, I forgot to mention this the EA Access or whatever, that's coming to the PC as well. Today, as a matter of fact, it dropped, where it was already available on the console. It was on the console for a couple of months. So PC once again had to wait again to get the EA Access through Xbox, through Game Pass on the PC. So yeah, I thought that they're doing a couple of things here and there. I was pretty happy about that to hear it. But let me finish up your email, man. I feel like I'm getting super long-winded here. He says, also you asked, are live service games in trouble? I'd say absolutely not. Garbage service games are in trouble. But I think this concept of games is doing well. Apex Legend is definitely thriving. Fortnite and Call of Duty Warzone is still killing. Even Elder Scroll Online is still going strong. Unfortunately, yeah, they all do seem to be in a very, very good space, by the way. You're right about that. He says, unfortunately, Anthem and the Avengers aren't enjoying the same kind of success. But this genre of games this genre of games in general is doing well. Also, I heard your voice. Yeah, I would agree. Overall, they are doing pretty successful. Yeah, I mean, it's always going to be some in the bunch that just aren't going to, hit the same way. That always happens. And who would have thought the Avengers, though? I mean, golly, one of the most popular IPs out right now as far as just the Avengers name in Marvel. I would have never thought that would have done as bad as it did, but nothing is ever promised. But let me continue with your email, brother. He says, also, I heard your voicemail on GTR. Shout out to Gamer Tag Radio, man. Shout out to Danny, Paris, and Pete. Those are my guys over there, man. I never met them in person, but I've talked to Danny a couple of times, man. There's some really good guys over there. He says, I'm surprised Paris didn't go crazy when you mentioned being a fan of the console war. Yeah, he took it easy on me, didn't he, man? He definitely took it light on me. I thought he was gonna jump down my throat too, but nah, he kind of, yeah, Sir William X, he kind of spared me a little bit there, brother. He says they really get worked up when people express that they favor console wars. This is the thing, man. The console war for me, and I've said it a billion times, and I know you've heard me say it, Sir William X, so I hate to sound like a CD on repeat, brother, but it's just, for me, it's always competition. I've never wanted Sony to go away, even though I prefer the Xbox brand. I'm a gamer first, though, so Microsoft hasn't been cutting it for me lately, and Sony has, but I've never wanted any of the big three to go away, because if one falls by the wayside, that's less competition, which means that's bad for us, the consumer. We want these guys out here fighting for our dollars, man, our hard-earned money, and that's all I'm really a fan of. The console wars, where some people are talking about they want bad things to happen to certain people that prefer a certain platform. I'm like, come on, take it easy. It's gaming at the end of the day. It's competition, but trying to literally physically want to hurt someone or threatening someone's life, that's just a little too far. That's way too far. I just like to keep it just strictly based off of, the different consoles and the banter back and forth. It's fun to go, against somebody and say, well, I like this console for this reason. I kind of look at it like, taking up for your favorite sports team. I don't see it as any different than that. People are loyal to a certain brand, and they want to, protect that brand, to the end, because they just love it that much. And that's as far as it goes for me. I do love the console war, man. I love to see these guys going back and forth. And if one gets a feature, the other one tries to make their own spin on that same feature. And it just makes all of the companies that much better. That's why I'm saying Nintendo, they need to do better, and we should demand more out of them and have them compete instead of just sitting around in a corner by themselves, really not doing anything. And I'm not going to say really not doing anything, because the Switch is amazing. It's an incredible console. I'm not taking anything away from it. Anything away from that, from it. I'm all tongue-tied, but I would just like to see Nintendo just do better. That's all. But let me finish up here. He says, lastly, one subset, and he's calling you one subset Soul Calibur, brother. He told me to insert any other game here other than Tekken. God, he says, I'm ready for a rematch whenever you are. turn those Twitter fingers into Tekken fingers and send me a request. I'll generously serve you an L, a quote L, in Madden as well. Man, this brother got the shades on with the smiley face. He says, anyways, love the show. Keep up the good work. Thank you, brother. He says on PS, the last PlayStation code was redeemed not by me, but somebody got it. Wow. I'm shocked, man. Here it is, Crimson Phoenix. He didn't tell me that he got the Game Pass code and you didn't get the PlayStation code? Man, you must have spared somebody, brother. You must have held off, man. You got to let me know. Did you jump on it right away? Or did you just kind of let it just linger a little bit there, Sir William X? Man, brother, it's fantastic to hear from you. By the way, let me ask you something, man. Please let me know this. I want to see y'all two go at it, brother. I ain't gonna lie to you. Sir William X, I need to see you in one subset in these games, brother, whether it's Tekken, whether it's Madden. What I want to know is, since I'm not online, y'all know I'm not, brothers, I just embarrass myself, so I stay offline, man. And plus, people don't want to work with you, when you're brand new and you're dying all over the place. Like, kick this bum out the match, you know what I mean? So I don't want to go through all of that. But what I do want to know is, years ago, man, and I've told this story before. This is about my only glory days on Xbox Live. I used to play Rockstar Table Tennis. And brothers, man, listen, brother, I took some L's. I took some losses. But I absolutely gave out some. I definitely did. I was kind of cool on table tennis. It was like one of my favorite games, man. I would get in there, volleying the ball back and forth, and just had such an amazing time. But one of the things that I would do sometimes before I would actually play a match was they had this thing called spectator mode, where you could go into different matches and look and see what these different opponents were, what their skill set was. So I would like to go in and see what was going on. And sometimes it would help me to get, not so much an advantage, but to know, what kind of level player I'm about to play up against if I get next. So and also Marvel versus Capcom used to let you look at theirs too in spectator mode. So what I wanted to know is if you could tell me, Sir William X, or you once upset Tekken, do they have a spectator mode in Tekken, well, the newer Tekkens, or in Madden? Because I would love to see you two brothers go at it. I just want to know. I mess around and I get Xbox Live Gold just for that alone, brother, just for that. But, man, Sir William X, it's always fantastic to hear from you. This brother wants to smoke, one sub said. He told you, brother, stop with them Twitter fingers and come with them Tekken fingers, brother. He is ready. Sound like this brother's been in the gym as well, hitting the heavy bag, getting ready, man. So, it's all good, man. It's all in good fun. It's just great to hear the banter. Like I was telling one subset, man, it's just great to hear the banter between the both of y'all. And like I said, I need that front row seat, brother, if it's possible. But, yeah, man, I have rambled on long enough. It's almost a half an hour. Let me tell y'all something. I was not expecting for this show to be this long. I thought with 2 emails, it was going to be about 15 minutes. So this is definitely way longer than I was expecting. But before I wrap up this section of the emails from you guys, thank you again, Crimson Phoenix, for writing in. Truly, truly appreciate it. Hopefully I hear from you again next week. And once again, like I said, Sir William X, thank you again, brother, for writing in as well. And hopefully you'll have some comments for me to read off next week too. But yeah, with that being said, guys, I got a couple more stories here because I figured 2 emails, we were going to get out of here a little sooner than this, but I wrote them down, so we're going to run through them. So, since we were already talking about Respawn, it looks like, well, we're going to stick with Respawn. It looks like a job listing could indicate that a sequel to Jedi Fallen Order could be in the works, where Respawn senior producer Blair Brown said this on Twitter, and I quote, "Hey, hashtag game devs, hashtag game dev jobs. Twitter, I'm looking for an experienced producer to come work with me on Star Wars at Respawn. We're a small production team and rarely have openings, so hit me up quick if you're interested or have questions. Job details here. End of quote. So when he says, golly, I just lost my train of thought. When he says Star Wars and he says at Respawn, that's the only game that I think of because Fallen Order was the only other Star Wars game these guys have worked on. So they could be making a sequel, and that would be fantastic. I know that the lady, I can't remember her name, over at EA was saying that they were going to be giving their studios pretty much carte blanche to make what they want to make and not really micromanage the different things that they would be making. So hopefully, I'm sure everybody would love to see a sequel to Jedi Fallen Order. I think it shocked a lot of us. It really shocked me. And keep in mind, I haven't played the game. I have it. It's one of them games in the cellophane, brothers. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. I haven't got around to it. I believe it was like an 88 or 90. And I've been looking at some gameplay on it here and there. Not recently, but when it was getting ready to come out. And it looked very, very impressive. So I'm definitely looking forward to getting into it eventually. By the time I get around to it, probably be on part 5, but for anybody that was interested, it looks like that Jedi Fallen Order could be getting a sequel, part 2. Now I got 2 more stories here, and I'm not going to make them too long, but since Microsoft's Bethesda, I should say ZeniMax acquisition, the board of directors has been dissolved. Now, Pete Hines sent out an email to GameSpot, which is where I found this story at. But what I found pretty shocking was who was on the media board of directors over there at ZeniMax. Now, these are some pretty big names, man. They had Jerry Bruckheimer over there on the board, and I believe he was behind, Bruckheimer has so many things. I think it was behind Pirates of the Caribbean or something like that. Yeah, it was Pirates of the Caribbean. He was on the board. They had Cal Ripken Jr. on the board. If you're from Baltimore or if you're familiar with the Orioles, Cal Ripken was one of the greatest players we've ever had, and he was on the board. And you know what? What's interesting about that, though, Cal Ripken Jr., I forget sometimes that when I live here in Baltimore. Baltimore is only like literally a 50-mile drive to the actual headquarters of Bethesda in Maryland. It's not far at all. It's and the part of Maryland that they're in is literally called Bethesda. It's Bethesda, Maryland. So only 50 miles away from there. Am I driving there? I don't think so, brother. But it's just interesting. They also had a former CBS CEO named Leslie Moonves who was there on the board. They had an MGM CEO. His name was Harry Sloan. Private equity executive named Michael Dominguez. And even Donald Trump. Man, this is crazy too. Donald Trump's brother Robert Trump was on the board until he passed away last year. Oh yeah, and like I was saying, anyway, it's not important. But yeah, that was about it as far as that goes. All of those guys, they're gone. Hopefully, Microsoft held on to I don't know. I guess when you take over an acquisition, those positions are already filled. But I might have kept Jerry Bruckheimer around. I mean, he's got his pulse on Hollywood. That could be some really good advertisement with him. I don't know. But anyway, the last story I have here that I wanted to talk about is PlayStation and their Play at Home program. These guys are absolutely killing it. They are giving away 9 indie as well as PSVR games for free. Now, these include Abzu, Into the Gungeon, Res Infinite, Subnautica, The Witness, Astrobot Rescue Mission, which is on the PSVR, Moss, which is on PSVR, Thumper, PSVR, and Paper Beast as well. Now, Paper Beast really caught my attention because I do already have Moss and I have Astrobot, because those came with the PSVR that I never opened. They are in the box waiting to be played. But Paper Beast got me interested because that's behind, the person behind that game is the guy that was behind, what was it called? Another World back on the Super Nintendo, which was so cinematic. It was so incredible, man. Dolphin Software, back in the day, they were so ahead of the curve, man. It was amazing. Out of This World was phenomenal. Graphically, storytelling, that and Flashback. I'll always go back to those two games because it was cinema in gaming back then, something we had never seen before. It was just on another level that was unheard of. So when I heard that he made Paper Beast, I was like, man, I wouldn't mind picking that up to see what he's up to. But you'll be able to redeem these starting on March 25th, and you'll have until April 22nd to get them. But now this was a bigger takeaway. Those are fantastic. It's great that Sony gave those away, but one of the bigger takeaways here is they're also giving away Horizon Zero Dawn for free starting on April 19th, and you'll be able to pick that up until May 14th. So it's just PlayStation. You got to give them credit, man. They've been doing excellent, giving away all of these games for free. PlayStation VR games. Man, we got some news on some PSVR, man. Y'all stay tuned to Sunday's show. We definitely got some things to go over. But with that being said, man, I'm about to wrap this one on up. Once again, Crimson Phoenix, thank you again, brother. Sir William X, thank you as well. Truly, truly appreciate y'all. And if y'all want to be a part of the next episode of Listener Feedback, either call in at 443-216-9934. I would love to hear your thoughts, hear your opinions, and really get to dig into any questions that you have. And if you don't want to leave a voicemail, you can always leave an email. And the email address is theanalogcirclepodcast@gmail.com. I was your host, Kiaun Mitchell. And once again, thank you guys for all of the support. It's truly appreciated. I'm always getting tongue-tied. And I'm going to get on off of here, and I will see you guys on Sunday.